Alright, so it's first devlog. How long has it been since I've moved here? Almost 10 weeks. What have I worked on? I've made an update to my Outlet Finder app on the Google Play Store. I've been working on a personal app project outside of that. Very similar to the Outlet Finder in a way. Uses a lot of the same tools. Been building it for the Android operating system. I released the Death Grips game on itch.io. I've been making updates to my YouTube channel and my website as well. And I've republished the first game I've ever made with Ross, Riding Rodri. Alright, so what have I learned in the last 10 weeks? I've learned a lot about Firebase. In both my Outlet Finder app and the personal project, I'm using Firebase. And I've learned the value and difference between using the update versus the set method. And in the Outlet Finder, I was using set to make changes to your outlets or to submit new ones. And what it would do is it would copy the entire list that you have and reset that list. But when I do an update, I only add that one value, so it saves on processing power, does not send as much data to Firebase. And I've learned that I need to make a test environment for the Outlet Finder, as I only have a production one, and every time I make test changes, I have to test on my personal outlets, and that affects the data. And then I end up removing something by mistake and going in and re-adding it manually. It's not fun. In the personal project, one of the screens I have a list view, and I've learned how to do a swipe to remove on that. It's not necessarily a list view, it's a recycler view, but I implemented the swipe to remove, kind of like how you can do in text messaging apps or Google Gmail. I've learned how to export my libgdx game to HTML. I've learned how to use Packer to pack Java with my executable jar for the Spread Eagles game. I was able to successfully get it to work for Mac, but upon trying to pack it for Windows, it would not run on my Windows machine. I don't know if I was doing something wrong, but most machines come with Java, so I'm not too worried about it, and the game's not very good. So I'm gonna come back to that for the next one, maybe learn a little bit more. I've also learned about itch.io's uploading process, so I understand better what is required to be able to upload a game to their site, and what I can do with my game, how many screenshots, what the trailer's like, etc., etc. I've made some changes to the Spread Eagle game. I've uploaded it a couple weeks ago, but even just today before recording this video, I've successfully removed a border, so it plays a little bit better on mobile browsers now and fits the screen a little bit better, even though it's still not perfect. Now, the game only works in Chrome. Something else I've learned recently is that in Safari and possibly Internet Explorer, I don't use it, so I don't know, the music might not play. So for the next game, I have to dig into that and try to learn how to, do I need to use different audio files for different browsers? How do I add the code to determine what browser it's running in? Things like that. So what's next now that I've released the Death Grips game? Right now I'm working on a game that I made in April 2016. It's a game about Drake called 10 Bands. It's based on the song 10 Bands, and it's 4 levels. Each level you operate Drake and you try to pick up a stack of cash while avoiding cell phones and people sleeping. If you listen to the lyrics, he mentions that. So you avoid those things because they make you lose. And then once you get 10 bands, you finish the first level, and then you gotta get 50 bands in the next one. You got things flying around the screen. I mean, this game's been done before in Flash a million times. You've played variations of it. I'm making my own version, but you're playing Drake and you're trying to pick up cash. I think I might have a dev video specifically about that game because there's a lot of design mechanics that went into it that excel over the Spread Eagles game, even though it was made months before I started that project, and in less time as well. So I think I want to have a lengthier discussion about that. after releasing the Drake game, I'll probably make another update to Outlet Finder. I want to keep on top of that. There's changes to make in the location fuse provider, and there's always there's always new features that I haven't chosen to implement yet. So if I can pick a small enough feature, maybe I'll update that too. Fix some bugs, whatever. It's only a beta app, so it's not top priority, but I need to stay on top of my Android programming chops, so if I need to find a job, I can. I wanted to mention some design choices that went into the Death Grips game that don't really make it a good game by any means. The first is being that there's only one level. It's not a multi-level game, but there is an end to the level, so it's not an endless runner game either. And once you play it again, you realize it's just the exact same level. So it's kind of boring. Another point to mention is that you can't lose the game. There's nothing firing at you. There's nothing that will make you lose points if you hit it. You can't lose. The main point of the game is that once you're done, you see a high score and you collect the band's albums, and maybe if you play again, you'll find the ones that are hidden and you'll get all of them. That's kind of the point. I think it was more like a love letter to Death Grips. I really enjoy their music. I've seen them 3 times. I'm wearing their sweater right now. They're an interesting band to me, and I was just like, hey, Death Grips are the kind of people where they don't lose no matter what they do. So I think that kind of just played into the game, and a lot of it was more fun. I learned a lot about LibGDX, and I think a lot of it shows when you get the albums in the game. Strange effects happen. The clouds and the moon change colors, the stars rotate, the camera might flip upside down. So it was really more or less me learning about what I can do special effect wise. It was a really good learning process. It took a long time to release the game and finish it, but I think that was the point, was that it's not a real game, so it never really deserved a lot of my attention. I feel like they've done ARGs before with their music and given fans instrumentals and things like that. I kind of feel like this is something they would do in the future. Instead of releasing an album, maybe they release a game. You can only hear the song by playing the game, and if you lose, the song ends. You have to try to play the game as long as you can to be able to hear the song. And if you make it to the end of the song, you get a free download or something, right? Which other people could upload and say, here you go, here's a copy if you can't do it, if you're not good enough to play the game. But I think that'd be something they do. That is an interesting marketing tactic I would like to help them with if they're interested. Oh, there's bad things about the game. The mouse clicking, that's obnoxious. Who just wants to sit there and click? Why not hold the button, But it's an old game and I can't sell it, so I'm not going to put more work into updating those things. But that is clearly a bad design practice to say, hey, you can only you must press each time you want to launch an Eagle, and you have to keep clicking, and you're trying to just fire at everything. I'm not gonna like that for 3 whole minutes. Fuck that. The trailer, also very bad. I made it an iMovie. I was not a fan of that. Not as much freedom as Adobe Premiere. I just, I had Adobe on my other computer. I didn't feel like pulling it out. But this gave me a reason to, so every video from now on will be edited in Adobe Premiere. I'm not using iMovie again. No offense to them, just was not my cup of tea. Did not like using the time to learn the new tool. Did not like how I did not have as much freedom, so I'm just going to avoid that. So, that's it for the first vlog. Can't wait to release the next one. Can't wait to release the Drake game. Even though I made it 2 years ago, now more people will be able to play it, and that's an exciting feeling. I've already let my girlfriend play it, and she's already frustrated with the 3rd level. She keeps coming back to play it even though she doesn't like it. And I think that's good. That's a step up from the last game. I feel like I'm making progress. So I'm really excited about that. If you're working on any creative endeavors, let me know what you're up to. What have you been doing for the last 2 months, 10 weeks? You know, I moved to California, I made a game, I've been updating an app, I've been working on another app, I've been updating my website, I've been updating my YouTube channel, I've been making some time lapses on Instagram, I went to a paint night, like, we're making a music video. So what have you been up to in the last 10 weeks? What have you learned? Whether you're a musician, an artist, software dev, let me know. I'm interested. Peace.